Good morning, colleagues. Yeah, I'm not a professional ethics expert, but I will share my experience like the previous colleague. In the department where I lead the Department of Design Studies in the Faculty of the Arts. And at one point in time also I served in Ethics Committee of the university. And that is what prompted me actually to look at this. So basically I'm not going to define what is ethics. I think we all know what is ethics, and we all know what entails leadership. So we are leaders and we need to influence the people we manage or the subordinates around us. And how do we do that? Sorry. Yes, we know that we are leaders, that we have to influence. And ethics also are principles of behaviors, either wrong or right. So leadership, ethics in leadership, we must. Okay. So we need to understand what roles we have to play as leaders so that we can influence the behavior in our environments. I think I'm not comfortable with the technology. So as leaders, we need to align ourselves with the vision and mission of the institution. Because at the end of the day, we need to achieve certain goals. And for us to achieve certain goals, we need to understand what is it in those statements that we need to commit ethically. So when you look at what we have, it indicates that we have to prepare students. And for us to prepare students, how do we prepare students? And I will reflect back to what Professor Mukola said initially. We've got challenges in our institutions, the government, the country, which require our ethical behavior. So if we are saying to prepare diverse students, we need to understand, we have to understand the diversity from where these students are coming from. Remember, they are coming from different aspects of lives. They are coming to TUT, where there is also a new culture. So for us to do that, we've got to commit. And an aspect of ethical commitment has to take play there. Because who are you looking at? Are you only looking at those students that are coming to perform? Or you are actually targeting every student so that you bring them here and you nurture them and they go out there? So when we talk about rewarding careers, then it goes also to our ethical behavior as leaders. You have to influence the lecturers ethically. You've got to prepare the curriculum with ethics, behavior, ethics in the mind that you've got to be competent. You've got to ensure that the content in that curriculum will actually end up producing students that can be employed in the industry. We also talk about responsible current citizenship. Who are these students that we are bringing? We don't know their values, we don't know their beliefs. Once they come here, we need to inculcate values that will prepare them to go out. And I think the institution is doing very well with the life skills and graduate attributes. But at the end of the day, do we have a common understanding as leaders and the people that we manage? Because if we don't have that common understanding, we will come with conflicting interests and behaviors. And at the end of the day, some of us are coming here for salaries. And that is why when we have these students going out, some of them cannot be employed. Because at the end of the day, the lecturer was in class, yes, the student has completed, they got 50, and out there they cannot be employed. So ethics is all rounded. But as leaders, we've got to align it to the mission and vision of the institution. And we need to interpret and demarcate and remove those contents and understand them so that we prepare the students accordingly. So we have the TUT values, which says social accountability. So again, I would say as leaders and the people we manage, do they know what social accountability means? Because if we don't know, then we're actually not doing the right thing. And I talk of ethics in relation to profession, in relation to competency. Because if that doesn't work, then we will not achieve the goals of the institution. So who decides what is ethics? So who decides? Of course, we have the code of work ethics in the institution, which I'm not sure whether we have also again a common understanding, and which I'm not sure whether it has been rolled out from the top to the subordinates, which means we have what we call institutional culture. Are we having a common understanding? Are we all together geared towards producing or meeting the aims and objectives of the institution? I think once Madonsela once stated that the government organizations are challenged with ethical behavior. And looking at that, it is only the institutions that actually can inculcate that behavior and can influence the country. So it has to begin with all of us by being ethical. And therefore, I want us to reflect on what is really ethics in terms of the mission and vision of the university. Who, outside the institution, that you look upon as a very ethical person? And what are those characteristics that you can highlight and pick from those people to say, I call this person ethical because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it can be internal, it can be external. So I'm sure all of us, we have role models, ethical role models, be it international, be it internal. And if you can highlight those points, of course, honesty, competency, integrity, all those describes what an ethical manner means. But once you have defined that, you put it down and take it back to your subordinates and try to also inculcate those ethical behaviors in them. The institution, we don't work in isolation. And why I talk about this is we have the students with their own challenges. How do we manage them? We have procurement, which I think I have really problems with procurement. Do procurement understand the mission and vision of the institution? Do subordinates, the cleaners, do they understand? And once we have that common understanding, that's why I'm bringing it from that perspective, then we all aim at moving forward, not necessarily looking for money and to earn an income. And I will go back to my example, what I said earlier. When the student accused me, later she accused me that she was taking care of my children. She said that she would massage me in the office. It's a lady. So she said she had no choice for not plagiarizing my work because she didn't have time, because she was taking care of my children and would massage me. And she literally said that I abused her. The student used to come. She's an international student. She used to come to South Africa once a year. Then I requested my boss at that time to carry out investigation and to see whether that was a habit in me. And the findings actually revealed that she only came once in a year. She would only focus on her work, and she didn't have time. She didn't even know my house. So what I'm trying to say, how do you manage such people? Because they come with wild behaviors. They want to tarnish your name. How do you manage them? And these students can also surpass you to your boss or to a higher authority and try to influence them. But if you are not ethically correct, then you cannot survive that. And there are several questions that we can ask ourselves to say, if I have to do certain behavior, or if I have to do certain thing, is it okay? Can I do it in the presence of my beloved family, my children, and even my husband or my partner? So those are, as leaders, can you really do that in the presence of those people? And if your answer is yes, then you are ethical. Your behavior and action is ethical. You can also ask yourself, if my action is published tomorrow in the newspaper, is it okay? Will it be comfortable? And if it's not okay, then you are not ethical. If it's okay, then you are ethical. And then there is the common understanding. Do you want to receive the same action as you want to administer? And if your answer is no or yes, then again it is ethical. So in whatever action we do, either be it teaching, be it managing, we've got to be the role models. I think that is the best I can say based on my experience, and why I talked about aligning to the mission and vision is because I don't remember one time my leader, because I just became HOD 3 years ago, I don't remember my leader telling me that for us to achieve 1, 2, 3, this is the way to go. Thank you.